Hi, I'm Keith Warren. I'm a BIM manager and visualization expert for VTN Engineering here in Las Vegas. VTN has been around for 60 years, and so what we've done in the past is we've been a residential commercial development firm for the most part. We have public works, GIS, survey, but within the last 10 years, we found the economy has changed, so we have opened our bases to do renewable energy, solar, wind. So what we did was we got to the point where we knew everything was going to be a three-dimensional model, and we have taken that technology and grown it into a greater good for our overall company as well. With the infrastructure modeler, we are doing a lot of visualization and engineering, and so as we're going through that process and using 3ds Max and being a civil engineering firm, it was still static. It wasn't accurate data. There's no coordinate system inside 3ds Max, where inside Infrastructure Modeler, it actually reads from 3ds Map and from Civil 3D, so it has real-world coordinates. So for us, the most important thing as a survey and an engineering firm is the accuracy of the data that we're presenting. We want to know exactly that when we bring the surface in, that surface is a real surface, and when we bring in an aerial photo, that's exactly what it's going to look like at the end of the day. When we do these projects for the clients or for city agencies, they want to know what it's going to look like when it's built, before it's built. And so if we can go through and use the Infrastructure Modeler to do that, then they can see the value in it. The nice thing is that we can set proposals and set buildings in and kind of give them a demonstration what it might look like before it's even done. One of the most important jobs that we had was with a solar company, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, but you still have farmers and ranchers out there, and they're worried about the aesthetics of their property. And you can go and show them exactly what it's going to look like before it's built and have them on board. So if you have them as a partner and not an enemy in this project, it's definitely going to go a lot smoother for the client. So they are really, really happy to have something to show what it's going to look like before it's actually built. We're also doing a lot of visualization, 3D modeling, animated renderings, and we're doing a product called three-dimensional SU, which is 3D subsurface utility engineering, so that the utility companies can have a model to take out on the field instead of using plan sets. And at the first part of using the software, it was a GIS planning-based software. And so when we looked at it and we realized that we can do underground utilities, for us and what we do with public works projects, it was a no-brainer. It was like, okay, here's the problem. With doing underground utilities, when they go out to a job site and they pothole or they do engineering research with as-built plans, 9 times out of 10, they usually are going to hit a line, and it's going to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. They have standards for the two-dimensional subsurface utility engineering, but they never had three-dimensional, and that's the key, to know X, Y, and Z, not just to know it on a piece of paper. So if we can go and model that three-dimensionally, and they know exactly where those are at, and they can go out there and see that via a plan that's in a computer, it's going to save them a lot of money on the back end. So if they have to spend a little on the front to have their design done, that's how we've been winning contracts, is just showing the value of that. And I think with Infrastructure Modeler, over time, it'll probably be an industry standard of showing that at city council meetings. If you can take your laptop and plug it right into the overhead projector and show everybody what the project's going to look like, and if someone raises their hand and says, I live at this location and that's going to block my view with that sign, you can go right to that location, right to that height, and look that direction and show them that that view will be clear, and they'll always have what they want. So, and if it's not, then you can make that change too, relatively quickly, and then once that change has been made, then you can move forward.